know that's right. I know that's right. I love that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Deshawn King, and for today's video, we are doing an episode 3 to my Gay Chat series. I have some very special guests with me today, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet them. If you're new to my channel and you've never seen any of my Gay Chat videos, basically I created this series just so that I can create a safe space for the LGBTQ+ community. I figured this is an opportunity to not only have a very fun conversation, but to also educate people that may be unfamiliar with what we go through on a daily basis and how we grew up, and invite different people from different backgrounds, including allies. So if you're interested in a very fun and relaxed conversation, just continue watching. But before we get into the conversation, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on my post notifications to be notified of all my future videos. I also asked you guys on my Instagram to send me a couple questions and topics for today's video to be discussed with my special guests. If you missed out on that opportunity to send in your questions or topics, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you don't miss out on the next opportunity that I do a video like this where I include you guys. Also, I apologize if you guys can hear rain. It's like a thunderstorm outside apparently, so hopefully my microphone isn't picking up on that. So in this video, we're going to be doing a little kickback. I'm going to be sipping on some white wine. I typically don't drink like that on a daily basis, but I'm trying to get more into drinking wine, especially at nighttime when it's time for me to settle down for the day. So I'm going to be sipping on some Moscato d'Asti. I hope I pronounced that right. I've been having this chilling in my refrigerator for like the longest time, and the bottle's like pretty much like full still. Like I would say it's halfway. So we're just gonna pour up a nice tall cup of this because I have no idea how long I'm gonna be talking. Personally, I love white wine, and my favorite kind of white wine is like a really dry Riesling. But for tonight, we're just gonna be sipping on some Moscato. This is actually a very sweet Moscato. If you're somebody that doesn't really like the bitter taste of a wine, I would consider getting the Moscato d'Asti because this is very sweet. It's almost like you're drinking like a juice. Our very first guest today is someone that is very special to me. She's a dear friend of mine. We've been friends for a few years now. She's a very talented person. She's a writer, she's a spiritual healer, she's a yoga instructor, she's a model, she's an author. You can get her book The Grand Rising on Amazon. I'll actually link this below for you guys to purchase. She is a very talented poet, and I love the words that she says. I'd like to give a very warm and inviting welcome to my friend Sydney K. Marie. So how are you today? How have you been? I love your braids.
Thank you. Pretty good. Today I just went to SeaWorld.
Oh, you went to SeaWorld? Did you go with your sisters?
I sure did.
Oh, fun. How was that?
It was cool. My feet dead. Dead. Walking.
Well, I put everyone onto your book, The Grand Rising. Talk a little bit more about that and the development and your thought process and, the inspiration behind some of the poems in it.
The Grand Rising, I wrote it a little bit before, but mostly during just a super hard time in my life. And putting it out was kind of like the completion of a bad cycle for me. Mm-hmm. So it felt like I was actually rising.
Well, the cover is giving, okay? I love the cover. We got the same hair color in this cover, coincidentally. So you identify as bisexual, correct? And when did you realize that you also liked women?
My sexuality, it began with women. Since I was like a little kid. So yeah, my first kiss was with a girl. I didn't start dating guys.
So basically you was a lesbian first. Well, I think, for a lot of people, it's usually the opposite, especially given the fact that, we live in a heteronormative society. The programs that we watch when we're little, the TV shows, the movies we watch, even like the toys that we play with, Barbie and Ken and all that, there wasn't really much LGBTQ representation, especially back in the 90s. But that's definitely something that we're getting more into now. So what's something about, being bisexual that you could, possibly educate your sisters about?
I guess just be comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know in the beginning, for me, it was really I didn't know what it meant to be attracted to somebody. My sisters, if they even have that issue, I want to just let them know it's comfortable to just be free.
Especially in the industry that we're in. A lot of the men, you are a very sought out bachelorette. You are a very highly requested woman. From at least the very start that I've known you, a lot of men you know, we won't even have to say their names, have just come and gone in the industry, rappers, producers, artists, whoever, they tend to fetishize bisexuality, especially with women. Talk about just some experiences that you've had with just like biphobia when it comes to men that you've dated.
I feel honestly almost every man that I've ever dated or even talked to has like crossed that boundary with some like, you like girls, so why not take advantage of that and let's explore it? I'm like, no, what the fuck? I don't want to do that. And it's just sad that I feel like most straight men think that way. It's you like girls, so why don't you want to do this? Like they felt like I was rejecting them. So,
there's one guy in particular, if you feel comfortable discussing this, we won't have to say his name, but when you told me about him, I was just like, I cannot believe that he said that. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, very popular producer had mentioned to you that, you know, homosexuality was what again?
You just said it was a way for the government to wipe out those black people.
And you know what's funny is because he's not the only person that I've like even heard of said that. He was the first when you brought that to my attention.
Yeah,
but since then, I've been seeing like little like Hotep think pieces like on Twitter with some guys like even saying that like, oh, like homosexuality is this like government plot to like get rid of like the black population. It must be worms on the brain because I like, what is that? What does that mean?
No, like, you have to really pull that so far up your ass.
You have to like, that's like really reaching. Like, I hope he has stretch marks from reaching that far to come to that conclusion. Especially being bisexual too. Didn't he also say, well, you're a girl, it's different.
Yeah.
How is that different? It's not different. So are you single right now?
Yeah, I'm actually super single. I went on a date though.
Oh, you did? Recently?
Yeah, it was like a 3-4 day date.
We love dates like that.
I just don't know what a man can really add to my life.
At the moment?
Yeah, not right now.
You know, honestly, I feel the same way. Like, at the moment, I feel like I don't really know, like, what a man can, like, add to my life right now because I'm so busy. But that's all the time that we have today. Thank you for joining me, Sydney. I love and adore you so much. You know that you're one of my favorite people. I will definitely tap in with you soon, okay?
Thank you so much. I love you.
Love you too. Bye. So our next guest is a very young, charismatic black actor in LA. He's not only an actor, he's also a model. He is a skincare enthusiast like myself. He is about to star in an independent film called The Spirit God Gave Us, coming very, very soon. I'd like to give a very warm and inviting welcome to Jabbar Lewis. Hi. What's that mean with Zachary Campbell? Black women.
Right.
How are you, King? How are you?
I'm blessed.
I like your chain, your Cuban link.
Thank you.
I need to get me one of those. So I talked a little bit about your multiple business ventures. Talk a little bit more about The Bar by Jabbar Lewis and like how you came that into fruition, your ideas behind it, and what can we expect in the future?
The bar came about, okay, the real story is, I was working for this girl, and she ran this business, like, she sold glasses, she sold accessories and clothing, and I just basically, I was her right hand, and I just saw how she ran her business, and I'm like, I was always thinking, like, you're making a lot of fucking money. I can do that. Like, I'm always, like, trying to learn how to make money. So, like, I saw how the way she ran her business, I'm like, I can do this shit too. So, I stopped working for her, and then I started my own, and then it started with sunglasses because I knew exactly how to do it, like what vendors to go to, what boxes and things to order. So I knew how to do it because I was doing that for her. And then eventually I'm like, okay, I want to start branching out into the skincare world and all bunch of different things, clothing, all that type of stuff, because it's all, I guess that's in one niche.
Yes.
And I have a ton of friends who also do it, so I'm like, every time I'm helping them, I'm also taking notes in the back of my mind, like, okay, I see you.
Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. Friends are supposed to not only inspire each other, but they're supposed to put each other on. Especially Black people. Like, we should all like have our own businesses, especially if you have a platform. Like, that's how you realize you was working for that girl and like, you know what? It's too much money out here. I need to like make me some for myself. Like, I'm over here slaving for her. You know what I mean? Like, you are somebody that has a lot going on for themselves. You're a very talented person. Talk a little bit more about your acting background.
Thank you. I started acting in 8th grade, maybe. 8th grade was like the first time I joined a show or anything like that. Like just a musical theater show. I really started taking it seriously in high school. I did like musicals like Wedding Singer and I can't even think about the shows that I did. It's been so long ago.
So your parents are very supportive of that?
My parents?
Yeah, very supportive of like your acting?
Yeah, because it's like, you can't stop me. Like, you can't tell me. I'm gonna do it regardless. Like, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. That's what it was.
No, I love me some Sagittariuses actually. I have a very close friend that's a Sagittarius, my friend Sheldon. He was in my last gay chat. I don't have anything to pick about Sagittariuses actually. You guys are very just like outspoken people, and y'all can pop off like that. But me as a Virgo, we sit and listen. We're just like,
You're a Virgo?
Yeah, you knew this. You knew I was Beyonce. You knew. No, honestly, me and Beyonce have the same sun and moon, so I literally am Beyonce.
It's like Beyonce. Are you mine? Beyonce, sweetie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But you like Virgos, don't you?
I actually do a lot. I like Virgo's work ethic. Like, you guys are somebody who just looking for anything, and that's why I don't deal with y'all. Like, that's why I will stay clear with Virgo, because y'all will put work before your relationship and the care of a relationship, and I'm like, oh, there needs to be some type of balance.
You're right. You're honestly right, because like, I'd be damned if somebody comes between me and my brand. Like, I'd be damned. Like, you can go. Like, there'll be other people like you. The door. Like, if I'm like filming, if I'm editing, and like you're like, babe, let's just go out right now. I'm like, I got a video to post tomorrow. We can go out another time. You know what I mean? It's a work-life balance. So speaking of, work, talk a bit more about The Spirit God Gave Us. A very exciting film. When you posted the trailer on your Instagram, I was literally like, I need this, because there's such like a void with like Black queer film. Just go on Netflix. Like, go on Netflix and try to like look in the LGBTQ category. There's like hardly any like Black, like gay material. It's awful. It's very, it breaks my heart, because like the lack of representation. There's a lot of direction behind this, and like budget. There was a Kickstarter, which we can talk about. I personally pledged a few bones myself, because I'm like, I need to see this movie. So yeah, just talk about like The Spirit God Gave Us and like what's going on right now.
Yeah, The Spirit God Gave Us is a film that I signed on to back in February. The director, Michael Dante, he reached out to me through Clubhouse. He found me on Clubhouse. Just being in the rooms, like the casting director rooms, and just hearing what they had to say. And he was just looking for LA actors, and he happened to find me. He saw my YouTube videos, and he reached out to me. I read the script. He sent me like his goal for the project, and it just really aligned. Yeah, I'm just always like, does it make sense? You know what I mean? Like, the stories have to make sense regardless of what role it is. And when I looked at the project, I was like, oh, like, it's an instant yes, because one, we don't see it on movies. We don't often see it. When things like Moonlight went so big,
yes,
every other thing, like Broadway shows like Choir Boy and all these other shows do so well, but there's so little of them. It's like, okay, why not make more of them? If they're doing so well, make more.
Exactly. So, if they're winning Oscars, make more.
Exactly. So I was very happy to just sign on to it. I didn't know who was signed on to it or whatever it was. I just read the script and I was like, this has to be told. But it's a great story. It's about two black 16-year-old queer boys finding their way, finding their purpose, and it has to do with like the intersectionality of church, and that's being gay, being the God people.
Yes, yes.
Christians. It's a different type of conversation. So to see that coexist in that world and try to see this fantasy, I honestly think like when I think about the movie and I look at the script, I'm like, this is a fantasy. This is what, you know, queer people, we want to see that. We want to envision that world where we don't have to walk into a church and not be judged. We want to walk into a world where we walk into a barbershop and not be judged, or don't feel like we have to put this persona on. And for two young black boys to be learning their own identity in such a sacred place, I think it was a dope story that I was happy to sign on to.
You mentioned Moonlight. Many people don't really know this, but when I was doing my little acting and I was, you know, doing little extras and stand-in.
I didn't know you do acting.
Yes, I don't anymore because I unsigned from that agency because my agent was very microaggressive, and I didn't, racially. So I couldn't. And plus it wasn't going in a direction that I felt like I really wanted to. Now I have my own show, my channel. So I feel like I have more control with this. And you never know who's watching. You know, like you said, you know, Michael Dante was watching your videos and now you're in a film. So I never know who's watching me. I could very well be in a film too. Who knows? I did a couple stand-ins for the director of Moonlight, or I should say the writer of Moonlight, actually. He's the writer. I met him, and it was...
Terrell?
Yes, Terrell.
Cool.
David Makes Man.
Yes, that's such a great show.
Really? I've actually personally never seen an episode because I don't have the own channel. It was just like a full circle moment for me. Like films like Moonlight are very inspiring, and they resonate with people like us because there's little to no representation. That's why the Spirit God gave us is so important, because it can be just as big. You know, you may never know. You may never know. You might win an Oscar from this. Who knows? A SAG award. Like, so how is your on-set chemistry with your co-star Nicholas?
Nick Ash, he's such a great friend. We got to work together for once. You know, one time doing the promo shoot, he had to go back to shoot Queen Sugar. So we had like such a short time to just like meet. It was like we met one night, and then the next night we had to shoot a promo.
Oh wow!
So it was like the night before was the first time we even got to speak in person and just interact with each other, see if we vibe with each other. But once again, we're professionals, so of course the next day we're just like, you know, we got this, we know what we're doing, and then we kind of just floated. We just let Michael give us some direction, and we just played with that. But Nick is such a great actor. Like, to get in the zone of where we were going with the promo shoot, he would put headphones in, and he would really, I don't know if he was listening to, but he would put headphones in, and then I just seen him, I just looked over, he's crying, he's bawling his eyes out. Wow. And then Michael's like, action. And I go do my action, I sit next to him, and he's so in the zone and so in the moment. And I'm like, oh, you know your art, and you know how to get to a certain vulnerable place. And that's dope, because as an actor, it needs to be, we can't wait 10, 20 minutes for you to get in the zone. We need you to find your trigger and go and act, you know?
Yes.
So he's I see that he cares about his craft, and that's something about me. It's like, you know, I used to always put emphasis on being a good actor, and it's like, what is that? It's so subjective. You know, I can think someone's a great actor, you can think he's mediocre, she's mediocre.
Exactly.
But I just started being like, let's be human. Like, let's really actually feel feelings, and you know, and the camera's just playing. So I stopped giving up the technique is in the back of my mind, but it's like, okay, let's be human. Let's tell real stories. And Nick does that so well. He did that so well. So I'm so excited to actually dive into actual words with him and actually be able to talk and physical chemistry and just like the intimacy with the camera being so close. I'm very excited because I know he's been doing this for so long. I was watching Nick on Queen Sugar before I even knew Nick. So it's like, I'm a fan already.
Oh, right.
So to just be working with you, I'm like, okay, cool, dope.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. You know, that's the first thing that they teach you in acting class is like, you gotta pretend like y'all are best friends. Like, you gotta pretend like you know this person. If you're in a scene with them, you may like when you go to castings, and like especially in Orlando, because that's the area that I'm in, like the Central Florida area. It's a very heavy acting market. So when you go to these castings, especially for places like Universal, Disney, you know, Busch Gardens, they are putting you in rooms and in group auditions, and you have to pretend like you are like kikiing with them, like y'all know each other. Some people have like an advantage because like they've been to the same auditions like 12 times already, so if they get grouped together, they very well might just get booked the job. Like, and you got to kind of like outshine them in a way, but also like have chemistry with them. So especially like, you know, not really knowing Nicholas like that on a personable level and having to jump in such an intimate setting, that is like some real deal intense stuff. So with that being said, given the fact that this is a queer film, what is your sexual orientation, if you don't mind me asking?
Sexual orientation is fluid, as they say, right?
The reason why I ask is because, you know, you see a lot of, you know, cis males that identify as heterosexual jumping into these gay roles. People will say, well, why don't they just get like a gay actor to play a gay role? You know, like, why do they get like these, you know, straight guys all the time? So that was the reason why I asked, to see, you know, just how comfortable you are just like having intimate chemistry with another man on film for like the world to see.
I get that. Like, I get people's criticism on like, there's a ton of queer men who are great actors, sometimes better than the straight actors. So did you guys give them an opportunity before you gave to people who have to really play pretend? And I get that criticism, and I'm like, yeah, I absolutely agree. But then I also think about the craft of acting. It's like, at the end of the day, we're actors. We're allowed to portray characters and different experience that we have never experienced, but we can dive into that world. But I do think like representation matters. And yeah, I identify as queer, and I whatever that means to other people is like up to your interpretation. But I spent most of my life trying to fit to that heteronormative
construct. Yeah,
I was, and I was okay with that because I played sports, and I played sports for a long. I played football for like 12 years, and I was around so much of that culture. I don't think that I was necessarily in the right predicament at the time to even identify as that as a child. But as I got older, I was like, I'm grown. No one pays my bills but me. I'm allowed to love who I love, like who I like, do whatever I want, and I'm not having an opinion of someone else because they were a provider, or I had to see them every day. You know, high school and middle school, whatever. You see these people every day, so you're gonna have some type of conflict with them. I could go to work, make my money, and never see any of you niggas anymore.
Yeah,
so,
me.
So, like, you know what I mean? So like, I'm just authentically living my life. Yeah.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I love that. You know, like I said in my introduction, this is a safe space, so you are, you know, feel free to just, you know, completely be yourself and authentically be yourself. And just, you know, it's always great to have these conversations because, you know, like you said, you were in these, you know, kind of heteronormative construct spaces playing sports. It's not really widely acceptable yet at this moment for like, you know, queer athletes or like queer student athletes to like, you know, be comfortable in the locker room or, you know, around their coaches. And also just living under the roof of like a parent or guardian too, and having someone to answer to, that can also be a little bit intimidating depending on if they're even accepting or open of that, or even if they're educated. That's why videos like this that I'm doing right now are very important, because it's very important for parents, for everyone to be educated. Because if you have a child that, you know, maybe not even identify as queer because they don't know what that is, but they're expressing like queer-like behavior, or they're interested in, you know, someone of the same sex or someone of the opposite sex, or if they don't really identify to their assigned gender, there's a lot of things that like can be discussed in the household. So that's why it's very important, you know, for people like you to just bring that, you know, to the surface. I really appreciate you for like sharing that. So I guess my final question, the pressing question that everyone wants to know, young, handsome bachelor in LA, are you single?
I am single. I'm really trying to just take the time to learn myself and be an adult in LA. I've always been in a relationship coming here since I was a teenager. So just to take the time to settle into my career, and I feel like that's going very well right now, and making money and just having my own place and really just being on my strides to where I want to be. I just felt like I had to be in solitude with that, and I had to really be in my own world and not care about who I'm responding to and where I have to tell you where I'm going. Like, I didn't want any of that. And I just had to discover myself as my own, as someone who has to take care of themselves and don't have to report to anybody. Because I did that so much with my parents. So it's like, why do that with someone else in a relationship? Like, if we're not there yet, we're not there. And that's okay.
That's a word. That's a word. Well, thank you, Jabbar. We're definitely gonna, like, now that we are connected, we're definitely gonna be talking a lot more. You are an amazing person. I support you like 10,000%. Like, anything that you do, I'm just like, yes, Jabbar, yes. Like, I don't know. You're like one of my favorite people to see on my timeline, like, all the time. So thank you for being you.
Literally, I be watching your videos. I would just have your shit like me. So I'm someone who'll come out the shower, right? And I'm like, all right, I need something playing in the background. And I don't want to be listening to music all the time. So I listen to music in the shower. So I'm like, I need to see somebody while I'm getting ready. So like, I'm like trying to figure out my outfit. I'm doing my skincare, doing my grooming, whatever I'm doing. And I'm like, I need something in the background. And you're someone who
wow. Like, I'm very flattered.
Because, like, first off, I'm someone who's like, I want to see my friends win. And I'm also the type of person to be like, why am I going to watch somebody who's popping when I go watch my friend who's doing it? Your work, your quality is so good.
Oh, thank you.
Your quality is what they're doing.
Yes.
Without the numbers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'm going to watch you, and I want to see that come up, because I watched their come up when they had less than 10,000 subscribers, and now they have 1 million. Like, that come up was dope, but I don't know you. So the fact that I know you, and you've got such great work, and I'm like, I'm going to want to see you win. I want to see you be like crossing your 1,000 subscriber mark and your fucking plaque and all of that. Like, I like seeing that with friends. So the feeling is very mutual.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I actually have a pair of your sunglasses. I will have a link to his website, JabbarLewis.com, where you can purchase the bar from Jabbar Lewis. I'm going to be wearing these in Atlanta, by the way. I have an outfit planned for these. I've been dying to post a photo in these sunglasses. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm definitely going to be tapping in with you soon. And yeah, we can move on to our next guest. So our next guest is someone that, you know, I've recently gotten acquainted with and starting to get to know a little bit more. He's very young, but he's also very intelligent and just very skilled in what he does. I'd like to give a very warm welcome to J. Michael. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. You have really nice, like, white teeth.
Thank you.
So, like, I mean, aren't you, like, going to school for dentistry?
That's the plan. I'm just gonna keep it at that. That's a plan. But with where I'm going to college at, we're just gonna kind of just ride and see. But I really want to become a dentist. That's like my passion.
Right. Well, I know, like, you know, with everything that you're doing with, like, social media and stuff, a lot of times, too, some people can kind of get, like, more heavily into that, especially if you're more passionate about that, and then especially if you start making money from it, it's like, okay, do I really want to, like, continue school? I know a lot of creators that actually, like, still finish school and, you know, have their platforms, because, you know, some people just like having a degree, and why quit, so to speak, than just finish, you know what I mean? But
I would love to do both if I can.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is J. Michael. I'm a social media content creator. I sing.
You have a really great singing voice too, by the way. I did peep. So I guess, well, first of all, congratulations on graduating. I know your graduation's coming up in like a few days. So I guess like the whole point of, you know, the Gay Chat, for one, this is supposed to be a safe space. So feel free to talk about anything that you feel comfortable talking about. You don't have to talk about anything you don't feel comfortable talking about, but just to, you know, let you know this is definitely something that, not only to like help us have a great conversation, but anyone else that's listening in on this, if maybe there's a perspective that they never thought of, they can definitely benefit from, you know, someone so young such as yourself. I know like when I was 18, like I had just transferred schools, transferring from a very diverse high school to a predominantly white high school where a lot of the kids had a lot of money and, you know, a lot of them were very closed-minded. And that's actually kind of why I wanted to have you on, because since you're so young, like life can change like so much when you enter your 20s. So you're 18 years old, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you have so much ahead. Like I grew up differently from other people in a very strict religious household where I wasn't really given the freedom that I wanted to like form my own friendships and to like go out and do things and experience the world. So I kind of had to like play catch up when I like moved away from my mom and transferred schools, and it was just very interesting, especially like, you know, first of all, just like identifying myself as gay and like accepting that, because for so long it was like, oh, you're not supposed to be that way. I guess for you, like, I guess my question is, you know, how was life for you, like your coming out story, and just like how life, if it did change at all when you finally realized?
Well, fun fact, I actually came out last December. This past December I came out. Big surprise, not really. But I don't know, I feel like everybody knew, but then I ended up dating a girl for like almost 3 years, so that kind of like dissolved that idea on people's heads. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was like, I'm not gonna be with her for long. I really hope she's not watching this. I liked her, but I was like, I'm not gonna be in this for the long run. She was going to college, I was gonna graduate, then COVID hit, and then we just decided to just break up. But my coming out story, it wasn't hard at all for me. I sent my mom a text. That mistake.
A text?
I did.
Oh, sweetie.
And I was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know.
Mothers always know.
Yeah, mothers always know. I was like, I'm pretty sure you already know, but I am gay. And I said a whole bunch of other stuff. And she told me that she didn't read the text all the way. She just said, okay. But it wasn't until later when she went back and was like, oh, okay, because I sent her, my plan was to go to school, then do it, you know? Yeah, so we had a talk when I got home, and she was like, you know, I gotta tell your grandmother. I was like, but my whole thing was, you know, my mom is like my left hand. We are so close. So I was like, as long as she knows, I don't care who else knows, I don't care who else has something to say. So ever since then, I felt more free. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm just so comfortable in my own skin. Mm-hmm. And I don't regret coming out at all. Like, I always used to say, oh, I'm gonna wait till college. I would probably die if I went to college.
Oh gosh, yeah, no, you don't want to put that off. I mean, especially since you're like a celebrity child, like the industry just has like such like it's wishy-washy. Like they accept gays, and then like in some parts of the industry, especially the music industry, is like, oh no, that will ruin your image. Did you fear that maybe you would have like a negative light on, you know, just how people view not only you but your family?
No, not really. When it came to me coming out, I was more so just trying to do what's best for me. I always knew that at one point I wanted to do it. It was just when. Mm-hmm. And I always say this, that COVID coming was like a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Because I had a lot of time to just sit and think. And I was actually talking to somebody at the time, and he was like, when do you plan on coming out? He was like, I'll be here when you do. So when I did come out, I talked to him. We had this big long conversation, but that's the point. I was really just focused on my well-being and my mental, and because I could feel myself, like, if I go around certain people, I'm trying to act masculine.
You sound silly, right? You sound silly trying to be somebody that you're not. Yeah,
like trying to be low-key. If I'm in a group or I see a whole bunch of boys, trying to stay out the way. Now I'm like, what? Like, what's up? It was tough though once I did come out, because I have a lot of people trying to talk about my mom's parenting skills, or I had one lady, she came under my comments on YouTube and was like, oh, I see the demon in your eyes, you need to get ready because Jesus is coming, this, that, and the fourth. I let her have it, and I told my subscribers they can let her have it too. And you know what my mom said?
No.
She's like me times 10.
Jesus is coming. She coming for her ass. Yeah.
Yeah, they say a lot of crazy stuff though, and I mean,
that's so nutty.
Myself. Yeah, and it's never anybody my age. They're always 30 and up.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, like, especially because I really wanted to bring you on here just so that, like, more people can know J. Michael and not just, like, J. Michael, the son of, we don't even have to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, you have an identity of your own, and, like, when you get like a huge traffic of like a specific audience from people that kind of just want to know more about like your mom's life and just like kind of be in your business just so that they can have something else to comment on, it can be a little discouraging. And I know that you're somebody that's like really trying to like build up something for themselves. My next question, you did discuss, you know, talking about, you know, you were talking to like a guy, you know, earlier. Are you still talking to him? No. He's a dub. He's a dub. I feel you. Are you single right now?
I am single right now.
So, like, what's your type? Like, what kind of guys are you into? I feel like I have an idea because you be liking the same photos that I be liking. Yeah, I do be. Yes. When I be on TikTok and I be going on their Instagrams and but liked by J. Michael, I'm like, this little boy. Like,
it depends, because ask my friends, they say I have horrible taste in guys.
Oh.
They always saying how I always choose ugly guys.
Wow.
The last guy I was talking to, he was short. I'm 6'1". He was like 5'5".
Okay, yeah, Jay, we might need to.
I mean, I wouldn't do it now, but I you know, just to say I did it, you know, I talked to somebody short. But
we should get like a little button for you. I talked to somebody short, and just you could just wear it around, you know, like at Disneyland.
We don't discriminate.
I do.
But,
I do.
I like them dark. I don't like light skins.
Oh, pumpkin. Let me tell you, I do. I love me all the colors of the rainbow. I would never like actually seriously date anyone white though, just personal preference. I love the idea of black love. Light-skinned men and Scorpio men, they find themselves just like in my business, just like what you want. Like, what is your sign? You're a Cancer, right?
I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces. Okay, I knew you was water, but I forgot like which one. When was like your first kiss with a man? Have you ever had one?
No.
No.
Remember, well, okay. When I was with the young lady, that was like, I was in high school. So I started dating her my freshman year, and we broke up my junior year. So like, majority of my high school year, I was with a girl.
Aww.
Which I was talking about on my live a few days ago. I was like, I regret it. I do.
Yeah, you could have been living your best life.
I really could, but like, here we are. So I guess college, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see in college. Somebody gonna try to talk to you.
We'll see in college.
So a topic that one of my subscribers sent in, they talked about ghosting. So have you ever ghosted anyone? If so, like, how did that go? Like, what was the experience like?
Well, I caught myself trying something new again. And I always say I will never ever talk to somebody who's younger than me. But I don't know why, I just decided, hey, why not? So So I was talking to this guy. I was 17 at the time. I think he was like 16. Not much of a difference, but once you talk to somebody, 1 year age difference, you can.
When you're like, when you're 17 and 16, like when you are like already in a young like demographic, like that 1 year can mean a lot. So.
Yeah. So I was like, let's just try something new. So we started talking, FaceTiming. Out of nowhere, he calls me his boyfriend. I was like,
did you agree to that?
So I was like, well, I am a little bored. Alright, why not?
You gotta be careful of that. You can't just be jumping into situationships and entanglements being bored. I had to learn that the hard way. Y'all know.
I was like, I'm bored, so why not? So we were talking, wasn't even a month. I hope he's not watching. I highly doubt it. I was like, I used a mental health card. I was like, I'm just going through some stuff. So I can't.
You had to come off as nutty for him to leave you alone. Like
I was like, I can't do this right now. Like I'm kind of going through a lot, and I was like, when I'm ready, I'll let you know. And he was like, okay, well, just know I'm always gonna be here for you. This, that, and the fourth. I was like, you say nothing but a word. Block, unfollow, and we're gonna call it.
Wow. So you like really ghost. See, me, I don't be blocking people. It really takes me a lot to block. I don't have a problem with someone that I don't talk to anymore if they just like watch my story. That to me is like, okay, like I'm interesting enough for you to check up on, and we'll keep it at that. Like I will only block you if you cause a disturbance to my well-being. I've ghosted before. I've ghosted. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I entertain DL men. Scout's honor. I know this is something, this is very frowned upon in the community, but I entertain DL men.
No.
This is my story. And honestly, it's kind of like they start displaying like, you know, they be acting a little like, you know, froggy and, you know, irritable. I kind of just have to like distance myself, or they distance themselves first. And I take that time to kind of like, okay, if he's acting like this, I don't want this around me. But I don't know, you have so much life to live ahead of you. I mean, you might find yourself in that situation. I mean, like, it's entertaining DL men has like a thrill to it, if that makes sense. And it is like, it's very important for us to discuss, especially, you know, with you being 18, like this is definitely something that you might highly find yourself in, especially going into college. Me personally, I'm already a very private person, so when someone approaches me and is like, I don't want people knowing about this, it's like, I was gonna do that anyways, because like,
right.
you think I'm gonna post you on my page?
Right.
No, I have a brand. I just don't think social media has a place for a relationship. So, I don't know.
I won't ever put another relationship. I won't say ever, but I won't put, if I'm like dating you. You're
Pisces. You're definitely going to be posting your man. Yes, you are.
No,
yes, you are, Janae Aiko. Yes, you are. Yeah.
Maybe it's one. But like, because people get too nosy, and then, you know, it'll be just my luck just for me to be messing with somebody and hear somebody else come, oh, he was in my DMs. I don't have time.
Honestly, and you really have to be careful with that. I'm sorry, but that is like a kind of like a dynamic within the gay community sometimes. That would get shut down real quick. What are some qualities that you look for in a partner?
Personality. Like, I have a really extravagant personality. Once you get to like know me, like all that, if somebody was to walk up to me in the middle of the street, I'm not gonna give you nothing. But once you get to know me, like I'm just really kind of crazy. So like I just need somebody who can equal me out, if that makes sense. I'm kind of crazy. So
okay.
I need somebody who can equal me out, you know? Like somebody who will just level me out and just like if you see me getting irritated, like you know how to like bring me back. Cause I feel like I am a lot to handle.
Okay.
I'm a lot to handle. I have a really bad attitude.
Oh.
I've been attitude over anything.
I like that. That's a very becoming answer. I like that. So
I don't mess with broke people.
Well, you know the term that listen, adopt this term. I only accept financially comfortable people.
I like that.
Financially comfortable people. That is what I look for in a mate. Someone that is financially comfortable. They don't necessarily have to be rich, but if they're comfortable with their funds and they're able to manage them, bring it on. Yeah, that is pretty much all the questions that I have for today. Thank you for joining. This was a great conversation. Also, you guys, don't forget to follow Jay's channel. Everyone's channel in this video is actually going to be linked respectively, and I'll make sure that I include all the links that I have. Yeah, thank you for joining. We're definitely going to be tapping in soon, especially now that we're connected. I know it's like late right now. It's probably like midnight, so I'll let you continue on with your night, and thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right.
Bye. Well, that concludes today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining and watching this video and supporting. I had so much fun filming this. This might, hands down, probably be my most favorite video I've ever filmed. On God, y'all, I feel like the gay Wendy Williams. Like, I felt like I was on a talk show just because I feel like I touched on things that really need to be talked about, and I don't know, I just felt very relaxed and I didn't have to think too much on what I was doing. If you guys want to see more videos like this, just subscribe, like this video, turn on my post notifications to be notified of all my future videos. Leave a comment down below what you thought of today's video. Like I said earlier, I will have everyone's information linked below in the description bar. Thank you to Sydney, thank you to Jabbar, thank you to J. Michael for joining in today's video. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. See you later.